Good morning. This is Ron. Welcome to Storytime. Coming to you on January 23rd, 2017 at 6:22 a.m. Excuse me, from Lovebirds Cafe and Bakery. And so I just got done having a nice blueberry streusel, which was nice and moist and very rich. So, and a little bit of coffee. So anyhow, so what today's selections is going to come again from the book called Where the Sidewalk Ends, the Poems and Drawings of Shel Silverstein. So the first selection is called Drats. Can anyone lend me 2 80-pound rats? I want to rid my house of cats. Hat. Teddy said it was a hat, so I put it on. Now Dad is saying, where the heck's the toilet plunger gone? My rules. If you want to marry me, here's what you'll have to do. You must learn how to make a perfect chicken dumpling stew, and you must sew my holy socks and soothe my troubled mind, and develop the knack for scratching my back, and keep my shoes spotlessly shined. And while I rest, you must rake up the leaves, and when it is hailing and snowing, you must shovel the walk, and be still when I talk, and, hey, where are you going? Oh, have you heard? Oh, have you heard it's time for vaccinations? I think someone put salt into your tea. They're giving us 11-month vacations, and Florida has sunk into the sea. Oh, have you heard the president has measles? The principal's just burned down the school. Your hair is full of ants and purple weasels. April Fool. Warning. Inside everybody's nose there lives a sharp-toothed snail. So if you stick your finger in, he might bite off your nail. Stick it up farther up inside, and he might bite your ring off. Stick it all the way, and he might bite the whole darn thing off. Let me read that one again. Warning, inside everybody's nose there lives a sharp-toothed snail. So if you stick your finger in, he may bite off your nail. Stick it farther up inside, and he may bite your ring off. Stick it all the way, and he may bite the whole darn thing off. I didn't like that one. The unicorn. A long time ago when the earth was green and there was more kinds of animals than you'd ever seen, and they'd run around free while the world was being born, and the loveliest of all was the unicorn. There was green alligators and long-necked geese. There was humpy, bumpy camels and chimpanzees. There was cats and drats and elephants, but sure as you're born, the loveliest of all was the unicorn. But the Lord seen some sinning, and it caused him pain. He says, stand back, I'm going to make it rain. He says, hey, brother Noah, I'll tell you what you do. Go and build me a floating zoo. And you take 2 alligators and a couple of geese, 2 humpy, bumpy camels, and 2 chimpanzees. Take 2 cats and drats and elephants, and sure as you're born, Noah, don't forget my unicorn. Now Noah was there, and he answered the calling, and he finished up the ark just as the rain started falling. He marched in the animals 2 by 2, and he called out as they went through. Hey, Lord, I got your 2 alligators and your couple of geese, your humpy, bumpy camels, and your 2 chimpanzees. Got your cats and drats and elephants, but Lord, I'm so forlorn, because I just don't see no unicorn. Old Noah looked out through the driving rain, but the unicorns were hiding, playing silly games. They were kicking and splashing in the misty morn. Oh, them silly unicorn. Then the goat started goating, and the snake started snaking. The elephant started elephanting, and the boat started shaking. The mouse started squeaking, and the lion started roaring, and everybody's aboard but the unicorn. I mean the green alligators and the long-necked geese, the humpy, bumpy camels, and the chimpanzees. Noah cried, close the door, because the rain is pouring, and we just can't wait for them unicorn. Then the ark started moving and drifted with the tide, and the unicorns looked up from the rock and cried. And the water come up and sort of floated them away. That's why you've never seen a unicorn to this day. You'll see a lot of alligators and a whole mess of geese. You'll see humpy, bumpy camels and lots of chimpanzees. You'll see cats and rats and elephants, but sure as you're born, you're never going to see no unicorn. Treehouse. A treehouse, a free house, a secret you and me house, a high up in the leafy branches, cozy as can be house. A street house, a neat house, be sure and wipe your feet house is not my kind of house at all. Let's go live in a tree house. The flying festoon. Oh, I'm going to ride on the flying festoon. I'll jump on his back and I'll whistle a tune. And we'll fly to the outermost tip of the moon, the flying festoon and I. I'm taking a sandwich and a ball and a prune. And we're leaving this evening precisely at noon, for I'm going to fly the flying festoon just as soon as he learns how to fly. No difference. Small as a peanut, big as a giant, we're all the same size when we turn off the light. Rich as a sultan, poor as a mite, we're all worth the same when we turn off the light. Red, black, or orange, yellow, or white, we all look the same when we turn off the light. So maybe the way to make everything right is for God to just reach out and turn off the light. Invisible Boy. And here we see the invisible boy in his lovely invisible house, feeding a piece of invisible cheese to a little invisible mouse. Oh, what a beautiful picture to see. Will you draw an invisible picture for me? Tight hat. I tried to tip my hat to Miss McGaffrey. I never should have put it on so tight, because it wouldn't come off my head and my neck got stretched instead. So that's what you get for trying to be polite. Peanut butter sandwich. I'll sing you a poem of a silly young king who played with the world at the end of a string, but he only loved one single thing, and that was a peanut butter sandwich. His scepter and his royal gowns, his regal throne and his golden crowns were brown and sticky from the mounds and drippings from each peanut butter sandwich. His subjects all were silly fools, for he had passed a royal rule that all they could learn in school was how to make a peanut butter sandwich. He would not eat his sovereign steak. He scorned his soup and kingly cake, and told his courtly cook to bake an extra sticky peanut butter sandwich. And then one day he took a bite and started chewing with delight, but found his mouth was stuck quite tight from that last bite of peanut butter sandwich. His brother pulled, his sister pried, the wizard pushed, his mother cried. My boy's committed suicide from eating his last peanut butter sandwich. The dentist came and the royal doc, the royal plumber banged and knocked, but still those jaws stayed tightly locked. Oh, darn, that sticky peanut butter sandwich. The carpenter, he tried with pliers. The telephone man tried with wires. The firemen, they tried with fire, but couldn't melt that peanut butter sandwich. With ropes and pulleys, drills and coil, with steam and lubricating oil, for 20 years of tears and toil, they fought that awful peanut butter sandwich. Then all his royal subjects came. They hooked his jaws with grappling chains, and they pulled both ways with might and main against a stubborn peanut butter sandwich. Each man and woman, girl and boy put down their plows and pots and toys, and pulled until crack, oh joy, they broke right through that peanut butter sandwich. A puff of dust, a screech, a squeak, the king's jaw opened with a creak. Then in a voice so faint and weak, the first words that they heard him speak were, how about a peanut butter sandwich? Lazy Jane. Lazy, 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 lazy Jane. She wants a drink of water, so she waits and waits and waits and waits and waits and waits for it to rain. The edge of the world. Columbus said the world is round. Don't you believe a word of that? For I've been down to the edge of the world, sat on the edge where the wild wind whirled, peeked over the ledge where the blue smoke curls, and I can tell you, boys and girls, the world is flat. Santa and the Reindeer. This is the hour, said Santa Claus. The bells ring merrily. Then on his back he slung his pack, and into his sleigh climbed he. On Dancer, on Prancer, on Donner and Blitzen, on Comet and Cupid, he cried he. All the reindeers leapt but one, and that one stood silently. He had pulled the sleigh for 1,000 years, never spoke a word, he. Now he stood in the snow and whispered low, oh, what do you have for me? I have games and toys for girls and boys, said Santa cheerily. The reindeer stood as if made of wood, but what do you have for me? The socks are hung, the bells are rung, cried Santa desperately. The reindeer winked at a falling star. But what do you have for me? Then Santa reached into his beard, and he found a tiny flea. And he put it into the reindeer's ear, and the reindeer said, for me? Oh, gee. And into the blue away they flew with the flea. And the moral of this Yuletide tale, you know as well as me. The toucan. Tell me who can catch a toucan. Lucan, just how few can ride the toucan? Toucan. What kind of goo can stick to the toucan? Glue can. Who can write some more about the toucan? You can. The planet of Mars. On the planet of Mars, they have clothes just like ours, and they have the same shoes and same laces, and they have the same charms and same graces, and they have the same heads and same faces, but not in the very same places. Love. Ricky was L, but he's home with the flu. Lizzie, our O, had some homework to do. Mitchell, E, probably got lost on the way. So I'm all of love that could make it today. The dirtiest man in the world. Oh, I'm Dirty Dan, the world's dirtiest man. I've never taken a shower. I can't see my shirt, it's so covered with dirt, and my ears have enough to grow flowers. But the water is either a little too hot, or else it's a little too cold. I'm musty and dusty and patchy and scratchy and mangy and covered with mold, but the water is always a little too hot, or else it's a little too cold. I live in a pen with 5 hogs and a hen, and 3 squizzly lizards who creep in my bed, and they itch as I squirm, and I twitch in the cruddy old sheets that I sleep in. If you look down my throat with a flashlight, you'd note that my insides are coated with rust. I creak when I walk, I squeak when I talk, and each time I sneeze, I blow dust. The thought of a towel and some soap makes me howl, and when people have something to tell me, they don't come and tell it, they stand back and yell it. I think they're afraid they might smell me. The bedbugs that leap on me sing me to sleep, and the garbage flies buzz me awake. They're the best friends I've found, and I fear they might drown, so I never go too near a lake. Each evening at 9, I sit down to dine with the termites who live in my chair, and I joke with the bats and have intimate chats with the cooties who crawl through my hair. I'd brighten my life if I just found a wife, but I fear that never will be until I can find a girl gentle and kind, with a beautiful face and a sensitive mind, who sparkles and twinkles and glistens and shines, and who's almost as dirty as me. Point of view. Thanksgiving dinner's sad and thankless. Christmas dinner's dark and blue, when you stop and try and see it from the turkey's point of view. Sunday dinner isn't sunny. Easter feasts are just bad luck, when you see it from the viewpoint of a chicken or a duck. Oh, how I once loved tuna salad, pork and lobsters, lamb chops too, till I stopped and looked at dinner from the dinner's point of view. Magical eraser. She wouldn't believe this pencil has a magical eraser. She said I was a silly moo. She said I was a liar, too. She dared me to prove that it was true. And so what could I do? I erased her. Spaghetti. Spaghetti, spaghetti all over the place, up to my elbows, up to my face, over the carpet and under the chairs, into the hammock and wound round the stairs, filling the bathtub and covering the desk, making the sofa a mad, mushy mess. The party is ruined. I'm terribly worried. The guests have all left, unless they're all buried. I told them bring presents. I said throw confetti. I guess they heard wrong because they all threw spaghetti. Helping. Agatha Fry, she made a pie, and Christopher John helped bake it. Christopher John, he mowed the lawn. Agatha Fry helped rake it. Zachary Zug took out the rug, and Jennifer Joy helped shake it. And Jennifer Joy, she made a toy, and Zachary Zug to help break it. And some kind of help is the kind of help this helping's all about. And some kind of help is the kind of help we can all do without. If I had a brontosaurus. If I had a brontosaurus, I would name him Horace or Morris. But if suddenly one day he had a little brontosauri, I would change his name to Lori. Benjamin Bunnan. Oh no, Benjamin Bunn. Poor Benjamin Bunn from Wilmington. His buttons would not come undone. He hasn't changed his clothes since last July. And why? Because no one can unbutton him, no matter how they try, poor guy. And all that he can take off are his socks and shoes and tie. And all that he can do is sit and bite his tongue and cry. And he cannot take a bath, so just lets the water run. He cannot go to the toilet, and he cannot get any sun. And life just isn't any fun for Benjamin Bunn from Wilmington, whose buttons will not come undone. The battle. Would you like to hear of the terrible night when I bravely fought thee? No? All right. And that was more selections from the book by Shel Silverstein, the poems and drawings of Shel Silverstein, called Where the Sidewalk Ends. And again, I really enjoy a lot of his poetry. Most of the stuff I've never read before. I heard the Sarah Cynthia Sylvia Stout would not take the garbage out on Dr. Demento some years ago. And so I thought this would be a pretty good book to read for the selection of other poems that he has in here, I think. So they're really interesting, really imaginative, and rather enjoyable to read. So I hope you've enjoyed it. The next episode of Storytime will be on Wednesday, the 25th of January, and hope to see you then. Have a great day.